Let us summarize the procedure of hypothesis testing. The first step is to formulate the null and its appropriate alternate hypothesis. The second step is to define the confidence with which the null hypothesis is rejected or accepted. The widely used level of significances are 5% or 1%. A 5% level of significance implies that the risk of making a wrong decision is only 5 out of 100 cases, and hence 1% level of significance will give a greater confidence to the decision than that of the 5% level of significance. The third step is to select a test criterion based on the sample size and the knowledge of the remaining parameters of the distribution, and with the help of this, the test statistic is calculated. The fourth step is to set up the decision criterion to classify the test statistic to fall within or beyond the critical region at a given level of significance. And the next step is actually to decide whether to reject or retain the null hypothesis, and the last step would be to conclude about the parameter on the basis of this decision. Decision criterion can also be written in terms of p-value, which is actually the probability value of the test statistic, and irrespective of the sign of the alternative hypothesis, if a p-value is calculated, the decision taken is, if this p-value is less than the level of significance alpha, reject H0, whatever may be the sign of the alternative hypothesis. The decision of the test statistic depends on whether the size of the sample is small or large, the knowledge of the remaining parameters of the distribution, whether there is a single sample or 2 samples or more than 2 samples. Accordingly, a different distribution will be used in the test statistic. For testing the mean of a population, the test depends on whether there is a single sample, 2 samples or more than 2 samples. For a single sample, if the sample size is greater than or equal to 30, a z-test is used. If the sample size is less than 30 or the population standard deviation is unknown, a t-test is used. For 2 samples, again if the sample sizes are greater than or equal to 30, a z-test is used, and if the sample sizes are less than 30, a t-test with different test statistics are used for equal or unequal unknown variances and a dependent sample paired data. For more than 2 samples, analysis of variance, also called as ANOVA, is used. In the next video, we shall see numerical examples and different tests which we have just seen in the previous slide to be applied in different situations. Thank you.